iconic musical, Jesus Christ Superstar, is coming to Houston. It'll be performed at the Hobby Center from January 17th to the 22nd. And ahead of its run here, I got to talk to cast member Jahlil Burke. So I want to start by asking you about the production itself, because even if you haven't seen Jesus Christ Superstar, I feel like it's one of those musicals everyone has heard of. So can you give folks kind of a rundown of what the show entails?
Yeah, so the show entails the last few years of Jesus's life. Judas is pretty much the forefront of the story. He pretty much serves as our narrator. And it just really gets into everything from everyone praising Jesus to Judas warning Jesus about what's coming, down to the crucifixion. And it is quite the 90-minute journey. Yeah, I will say at the least. But it is a whirlwind. We have so much fun doing it every night.
Tell me about your role, because you're ensemble. So what does that look like on a nightly basis?
So my track specifically is a lot. I am one of the ensemble members, but I'm also one of the priests, and I'm also one of the Romans that arrest Jesus. So quite literally, if I'm ever not on stage, it's because I just have to change for the next scene. But we all serve as the mob. And the way that our director described it to us is the main theme of the show, in this iteration at least, is, how did he say it? Fanaticism kills. So we're just the mob that is following Jesus and Judas and Mary. And we're like, we love you, we love you, we love you, don't ever change. And the moment that he changes is the moment that we turn into the mob that leads to his crucifixion.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it's like taking this show all over the country. When you get up on that stage every night and you're looking out at a whole new group of faces, does that energize you? What do you get from the crowd?
My goodness. When I tell you we have had some of the most amazing crowds that I've ever had, and I've been performing for coming on like 12 years now, I have never had audiences the way that these audiences react. Like there are new moments that we get applause every city. We'll be like dancing, or we'll be like frozen, or like waiting to come on, and we'll be like, ooh, that's new. Or like we'll get like a laugh or something like that. Like the people love this show, and it makes such the difference for us because we feed off of that energy. And the show is so forward, it's so front-footed. So we're just like in it the entire time. We're sweating, we're like all over the place. But when we get that energy, we'll get off stage and we'll be like, that was worth it. That was worth it. That was a good show. We love the audiences that we've had so far.
It's a reminder as an audience member too, to be engaged, because your energy is feeding everyone on stage.
Yes.
So the more you give
specifically with this one. Yeah, because this one kind of serves as a rock concert. This iteration is just 90 minutes straight with no intermission. So we don't really get time to breathe. So the energy that you give us really makes a difference. And the way that Drew has choreographed the show, he told us from the first rehearsal, he was like, so I'm warning you guys now, like I've choreographed the show for you guys to be at peak physical exhaustion by the time that you get to the crucifixion. And we are, but when we get that energy from the audience, we keep pushing and give like just that inch more. The catharsis that we have after this show is unreal. It is unreal. I've never had it before.
What do you want the audience to take away from seeing Jesus Christ Superstar?
It's always interesting coming out of the stage door. I always hear when people are talking about the show, and they're like, oh, like I didn't expect that at the end, or like, I wish that wasn't as gruesome, because it does get pretty bloody at the end. But the thing that honestly, what our director told us in rehearsal is the thing that I want people to take away from the show, that fanaticism kills. So to be aware of the things or of the people that you idolize them and how, and like really like check in with yourself about that and be aware, because fanaticism kills. He said it in rehearsal, and I was just like, and then like when we got into rehearsal and it started clicking, I was like, y'all are geniuses. Like, so I would say that's the main one.
Message.
Very, very, yeah, especially in today's day and age. Yeah.
How did you get started in musical theater? What was your journey like?
Ooh. So I'm a bit of a late bloomer. I always sang. I grew up in church and I always sang, but it was nothing like special. Like, everyone sings in church. So I didn't think it was anything in particular. And then when I got to high school, I was in chorus and I was in like one of like lesson groups, and the chorus teacher heard me singing, and we finished the lesson group, and he was like, "Hey, Jahlil, can you come to the piano for a second?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he was like, "Yeah, so you have a great voice. So you're going to be auditioning for the musical this semester. You're going to be in select choir. You're also going to be doing this thing called NISMA, which was like a state competition for like all county and all state." And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 what? No, no, I'm not." Like I had severe stage fright when I first started. So it literally in my audition for the musical and for this like choir, like I almost passed out. Like he was like, "It's fine, just like sit down and just like sing." And I was like, "I really can't do this." When I did the first musical I did was Seussical, the show started 15 minutes late because I was like in a fetal position in the corner. I was like, I cannot go on this stage. And now you can't get me off a stage. So yeah, that was my start, and I have not stopped since.
What are some of the other shows you have experience in?
Oh, I've done so many. My favorite
YouTube channel, I saw Rent. I saw.
Yeah, Rent is. We were actually just talking about that the other day. We like talk about what's a show that you could do forever, or like the show that you've done the most. Rent is the show I've done the most, and that I could probably do forever. I've done it 4 times so far. But I've done Rent. I've done Hairspray, American Idiot, Memphis. My absolute favorite that I've done so far. After Midnight. Actually, no. Jesus Christ Superstar is my favorite now. But Memphis has been my number one since about 2015. And JCS just came and snagged that spot.
I can see how it would do that, though.
Yeah.
You can learn more about the musical itself or find out how much those tickets cost for the night you're interested in on khou.com.